Hello, dear teachers, and a very warm welcome to the IMTEX Summer Academy 2026. Thank you very much for joining us today. One of the great joys of the Summer Academy is that it brings teachers together from many different parts of the world. This year, teachers from 24 countries have joined our Summer Academy. Today, we are delighted to welcome participants from Belgium, Germany, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Spain, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and Ukraine. And I would like to give a very special welcome to our Ukrainian teachers today. We are really very happy that you are with us. We also welcome teachers from Asia, from China, the Philippines, Japan, South Korea, and Thailand, from Australia and New Zealand, from the United States, and from El Salvador, and from the South America, Brazil, Peru, and Venezuela. I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who is not able to join us live today. For some of you, especially in Asia, it is the middle of the night. We are equally delighted to welcome everyone who will be watching this lecture after a later time. My name is Kerstin Wartberg, and I will guide you through today's session. I'm delighted to have my wonderful colleagues with me today. Margherita Biederbick from Germany and Arjada Hasanaj from Italy. Both are teacher trainers at the German Suzuki Institute. Together, they bring their experience, creativity, and many practical ideas to our session. We are also joined by the violin and viola teacher Linda Pyatt from San Diego, who is helping us with the technical side of today's workshop. Linda, would you like to say a few words before we begin?
Thank you so much, dear Kerstin, for such a warm introduction and welcome. It's so exciting to have so many people here from all over the world. And I will be showing slides during the presentation, and I will also be monitoring the chat. So if you have a question about anything in the content of this presentation, please feel free to write your questions and comments in the chat. I will be monitoring them, and if I know the answer, I will go ahead and answer you directly in the chat. If we are not able to provide an answer during the session, we will email you after the session. So anyway, I am really looking forward to this presentation and would like to now pass things back over to Kerstin.
Thank you very much, Linda, for all your support behind the scenes today. And now, let us begin. For our first practical example, we will use a very special piece. It is called the Happy Song. This song is ideal for bringing children of different ages and ability levels together. Pre-twinkle students can participate through listening and movement activities, while more advanced students can already play repertoire pieces on the violin. Happy Song can also serve as a musical bridge between many Suzuki pieces in A major. For this session, it is a wonderful tool, and especially for group lessons and concerts. Today, we will explore 3 stages of participation in practice chains. Perhaps you are thinking, what is a practice chain? And a practice chain combines pieces, mostly from the Suzuki repertoire, into one sequenced MP3 track. So many pieces in a row. It is designed to support both home practice and group lessons. In the first stage of participation, imagine very young children at one of their very first group lessons. They do not play the violin yet, but they already take an active part in the group activities. As they move with the music, they gradually become familiar with the repertoire and begin to develop an inner connection with the pieces. This active listening is an important part of the learning process. Just as children learn their mother tongue by listening, long before they begin to speak, they can become familiar with music long before they are able to play it on the violin. Children who are not yet playing the violin and children who already play the first songs on the violin can all take part in the same practice chain and enjoy making music together. Parents join in as well. They may move with their children, help guide activities, and give encouragement and support. In this way, the practice chain becomes a sharing learning experience for children and parents. And now I would like to invite Margherita to guide us through our first practice chain. She will show us how even very young children can take part in a group lesson.
Yes, hello everyone. So our first practice chain will be without instrument, but nevertheless, we should tune our violins because later there are some beautiful practice chains to play. And today you are always invited to play, dance or move together with Arjada and me. So if you like, you can prepare your violin and we tune first. Here's an A. So I don't know if you have tuned already, but we start now without the violin. I would like to ask you to stand up. And we will now do a part of the practice chain with happy song. So we start with happy song, then comes lightly row, and then again happy song. And in the happy song, we stand in a circle with our students. We hold hands with our students. When we hear the happy song, we will be walking in a circle. And in between, when we have lightly row, we will show the pitches in the air. So please feel free to join me. Ready, go! And change. you very much. This was the first example, and now Kerstin will introduce the next step.
Yes, thank you, Margherita. This was really a happy start. And I introduce now the next step, so where the children can play already a little bit. So let's move on. Arjada will show us how this looks in practice. At this stage, the children can already play the first twinkle rhythm on the violin.
Hello, dear teachers. Now we can play and move together. If you want, you can do with me. Ready? Play! Ready? Go! And take the violin. Ready? Play! Take the hands of each other's. Ta ti ti ta 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 ti ti ta ta ti ti ta ta ti 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 ta ta ti ti ta 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 ti ti ta ta ti ti ta Take the violin and we start again. Happy song and so on. You have happy song and other song, and you can do it with music and movement and always plays like that. Now we'll pass over to Kerstin.
Thank you, Arjada. This was a very good example. If the children can play already the first rhythm on the E string, but they can still play the repertoire pieces, they can join in this practice chain. And Linda, could you show slide 3? And so you see during the repertoire pieces, the children are doing movement activities, and they listen very well to the new pieces. And on the other way, they continue to understand the pieces, they understand the rhythm, the character, and they are doing very easy movements. So what the parents can also do with the children at home, and they develop really a long concentration of several pieces in a row. And this is something children can do with the parents at home, and they can do in group classes and of course in individual lesson. And now let's look to the third stage of participation. For the first time, the children are able to remain actively involved with their violins during the entire practice train. So, Linda, could you show the next slide? Thank you. This is an exciting step for many young students. Through many small preparation activities, they have gradually developed the concentration, endurance, and confidence needed to play an entire practice chain. For many children, this is also one of their first opportunities to experience what it feels like to play several pieces in a row and share a complete musical journey with the others. Margherita will now guide us through the next example, and please feel free to join her once again.
Yes, we will play another part of the practice chain with happy song now. Starting with happy song, then May song, happy song, and allegro. Yes, and this time, as Kerstin said, we will play all songs. And now our students are already at least at the end of book 1A. So we might ask them to play the second voice of the happy song. So this one. Yes, so some children are already now able to play the second voice, and you can decide if you want to play only the E string or the second voice. Yes, so let's try it. Ready, play. Thank you very much. I pass over to Kerstin now.
And I want to say thank you, Margherita. And perhaps you can imagine in a group class, there are the children who are doing only movements and their parents are helping. There are children who are playing only open E string, the rhythm, and there are children who can play all. And this is not only for a group class, but it's also for concerts. Very nice. And I sent you later also a link. Arjada did a concert with her students with the practice chain, I think 1 year ago or 2 years ago. And there you see all the different levels who are there enjoying making music together. And that's, I think, a lovely recording from this concert, but it's also lovely that everyone can join in and learn something and get better and has something for at home to train for. And what we have just seen in the happy song examples brings us to another important idea, the growing practice chain, the ability to play a complete practice chain from beginning to end does not develop all at once. What is developing all at once? Let us look at a simple example. The first Lego tower contains only happy song. This is where it begins. When the child learns the first repertoire piece, the practice chain becomes happy song, lightly row, happy song. This is our second Lego tower. Later, another repertoire piece is added, happy song, lightly row, happy song, song of the wind, happy song. This is our third Lego tower. Then another piece can be added and later also another one. We have many practice chains with happy song. This becomes our fourth and tallest tower here on this slide. In this way, the practice chain grows gradually together with the child. The child is not only learning more repertoire. Little by little, the child becomes ready to play longer practice chains from beginning to end. Just as the Lego towers become taller, the child's ability to participate in longer musical sequences grows as well. This is what we mean by a growing practice chain. One of the reasons why many teachers and parents like growing practice chains is their clarity. Every practice chain has a clear goal and a clear duration. Parents, teachers, and students all know what should be prepared and how long the activity will take. As the practice chain grows, the child's ability grows as well. Concentration grows and confidence grows. This creates a clear and systematic path from a very short musical activity to a complete practice chain. The same example can be applied to many other practice chains as well. Students simply play as far as they can. New pieces are added as they are learned. In this way, many different practice chains can grow together with the student. Some practice chains use a format that we call move and play along. We saw already some moving examples today. Children alternate between playing, listening, and movement activities. They put the violin down, move, listen, and then play again. This variety helps younger children stay engaged while continuing to review familiar repertoire. So far, we have been looking at practice chains that gradually become longer. But there is another type of practice chain. It develops a different skill. In short practice chains, only the beginnings of the pieces are played. After just a few measures, the students move on to the next piece. As a result, many different pieces can be included within a very short period of time. Short practice chains help children become more flexible. Within just a few seconds, they may need to change the character, the bow strokes, the tempo, the technical demands of the music. Arjada will now show us a short practice chain from book 1 using movement activities only. Afterwards, Margherita will lead exactly the same practice chain on the violin.
Okay, thank you, dear teachers. If you want, you can join me. Ready? Go! Taka taka stop stop, 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 taka taka stop stop. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong dong. La Thank you. And now I will pass it over to Margherita.
Thank you very much, dear Arjada. So maybe you noticed that this practice chain was in D major, and you heard it started with a D major scale, and then we heard the beginnings of the Twinkle theme, Lightly Row, Song of the Wind, Go Tell Aunt Rhody, and May Song. Yes, and when we play this practice chain, we have two things at the same time. We have a preview because we play on a new string, the D string. Yes, before the songs were all in A major, but now we have them in D major. And at the same time, we review many pieces we know already. So this is a great way to combine these two things in a joyful way. Yes, and as Kerstin already said, our students have to be very awake to always catch the correct tempo and character and the different bow strokes of the pieces. And at the same time, they get familiar with the D string. And because we need the D string for the first time in long ago in book 1, it would be a good moment to introduce this practice chain before starting to work on long ago. And to get a feeling for the string level, a first step could be to do a silent cradle from E to A, and then E to D, E to D. Yes, and here watch your string crossing technique from going from E to A, the hand is leading, and going back to E, the elbow is falling down. And then we go to D, the hand is leading, and going back to E, the elbow is falling down. Yes, and on the D string, we need a little more arm weight. So we could test the flexibility of our bow stick and like this develop a feeling of our arm weight here. Yes, and then it would be good to play maybe a few twinkle rhythms on the D string like this, or listening to a clear sound, and finally we could start working on the practice chain. Yes, so let's play this practice chain now. Linda, do we have the slide with the music so everyone can see the parts of the pieces? Okay, so if you want, please prepare. We land on the E string with the bow. We do the silent cradle to the D string. We feel the contact to the string. Also, our left fingers should be over the string. And then we can start. Ready? Play! Thank you very much. Now Kerstin will introduce another type of practice chain.
Yes, thank you, Margherita, and thank you, Arjada. This was great. So far, we have looked at short practice chains for beginning students. In volume 1A, each piece usually introduces one main teaching point, one or two, but only a few, a new rhythm or a new bow stroke or a new musical character or a new technique for the right and left hand. But as the students progress, things become more complex. The drawing of the left on the left side shows the early volumes. The basic structure is already there. We can recognize a house. As students continue, more and more details are added. By volume 4, the musical picture has become much richer and more detailed. In the same way, violin playing becomes more refined. In volume 4A, students often need to pay attention to many details at the same time: bow speed, bow weight, vibrato, articulation, and musical character, and all together a wonderful, beautiful phrasing. Margherita will now show us how the beginnings of all three movements of the Seitz concertos can be reviewed in just 2 2.5 minutes. As you listen, notice how many different musical and technical details appear in this short practice chain.
Yes, so we all saw the picture of the two houses. And one example from book 1 for the first house with the simple lines would be perpetual motion. So in perpetual motion, we have one main teaching point, and this is the bow stroke. The short eighth notes with fast bow speed and clear stop at the end, like this. Yes, you all know this probably. And we call these bow strokes lightning strokes. And throughout the whole piece, we try to keep up these lightning strokes, listening to a beautiful resonance and sound quality. And now, when we look at book 4, the pieces are more like the second house, with many small details and much decoration. So in the practice chain for a shot, we play the beginnings of all 3 Seitz concertos. So let's have a look at some details. At the beginning of Seitz number 1, already in the first measure, we have many teaching points. For example, the bow speed. We have slow, fast. So slow, fast. Yes. And we also have the bow weight. We have light, heavy. Yes. So we feel our arm light and then heavy with arm weight into the string. And maybe we also change the contact point a little bit on the E string. Go a little closer to the bridge. Yes, and then after the first 2 notes, we lift the bow with a finger movement, and then we play the small note, also with a tiny movement of our fingers. Yes, and also the left hand should be prepared. We prepare the fingers as a double stop in the beginning, and then we try to have a beautiful vibrato on the second finger G. So already in the first measure, all these points. And looking at the beginning of Seitz number 2, we have energetic half notes. Yes, so clear accents on the first and second note. One time in the lower half here. And then we want the same sound quality in the upper half. This is hard. So, yes. So, and then we want a resonant and even sound with a beautiful vibrato. And after this energetic beginning, the second phrase has a very different character. So we start. And now. Yes, it is softer and very singing. Yes, and also in the Seitz number 3, there are many points. In the beginning, we have, similar to Seitz number 1, the bow speed, slow, fast. Slow, fast, and also the weight, light, heavy. Yes, and then we also lift the bow with the fingers, and we play the short notes off the string with flexible fingers. And then the 16th notes we might play with a leggero bow stroke. We play with tilted bow hair, elbows slightly raised. Yes? And then we have the musical bow. Wait, light, wait, light. Yes, so you can see that there are many details, and the phrasing and sound production are already on a much higher level in book 4. So playing this practice chain, our students have to be aware of all these points, and they must be in control of their bodies to be able to quickly change from one concerto to the other. So let's try it now. Yes, you are invited to join me if you want. Thank you very much.
Okay, now you have seen a lot of practice chains, a lot of ideas, and we can have a look at how practice chain work in a normal routine at home. All variations we saw are mainly for the lesson. At home, practice should not be complicated, just playing through and choosing one of these two options. Option 1, a home concert. The student can play the practice chain like a real concert. They can imagine being on a stage, start with a smile and bow, play the full piece and get a big applause from the parents at the end. The options 2 will be 1 point of concentration. The teacher assigns only one specific point of concentration for the child's home practice. This concentration point can be a technical or musical detail or anything else the child needs to improve. The student plays the practice chains focusing on only one specific detail for the whole week. For example, keeping the violin high, a beautiful bow hold, a relaxed left hand, or straight bow with a good contact, and everything else you want. Now Kerstin will explain a great game to practice point of concentration.
Yes, first of all, I want to say also thank you for Margherita's wonderful explanations. And so I think we can see the picture with the basic little children house and this beautiful house. We could see and hear it. And what Arjada said, that's so important to have a good concept at home. I hear also from other teachers, for example, if parents just press on the audio file, then the children are there, even if they first looked in other corners or wanted to go in other direction. Just they hear the music and then they feel like, I have to play with the music. But one other possibility is something what Arjada just said, this one expression, the point of concentration. And this is a very important game. We can do a dice game and with one simple and playful way to choose one of these concentration points. The dice decides what to do. For example, good posture or beautiful bow hold, beautiful tone or intonation, good bow distribution, or one point of your own choice. And this can the teacher say or the child. The students then keep the same focus throughout the entire practice chain. This is a simple way to bring variety into the review pieces while still working towards a clear goal. So far, we have mainly focused on review. Now I would like to turn to another important aspect of practice chains, the future preparation. Practice chains can also be used to prepare future techniques. While listening to future repertoire pieces, students can already work on physical skills and techniques that will be needed later. Through violin gymnastics, and Linda, this comes a little later. Yes, thank you. Through violin gymnastics and other preview exercises, technical foundations can be developed long before they appear in a piece. In this way, technical preparation and future repertoire can become closely connected. Arjada and Margherita will now show us some practical examples of how future techniques can be prepared in combination with future repertoire.
Yes. Now we will talk about a practice chain on the book 2, practice chain 2A, short version. In this practice chain, we will work on some important technique. We can use the whole bow, changing position, keeping the left thumb relaxed, and the bow flexibility and vibrato. You can do, of course, with me if you want, but before starting, I will explain you. We have to take the bow, to put it on the shoulder, left shoulder, hold it with the left hand, and it will be very straight. You have to control your body, the foot position, and not like this, but always in this direction. And after, just follow me. We need the bow and after the violin. Whole bow. For for chorus. Ready, go! And now the violin. Shifting. All fingers move. And now thumb, tap, and slide. Tap. Flexible bow on D string. Elbow swing. Now vibrato exercise. Very smooth finger, very relaxed. And so on, you can continue all these short practice chains. And now I will pass over to Kerstin. To Margherita.
Thank you, dear Arjada, for this beautiful practice chain with violin gymnastics. And also in the higher books, we use violin gymnastics to introduce or refine our technique and make the movements feel more natural and easy. So we will now use the practice chain 5A to work on some technical aspects. So the practice chain starts with Bach Gavotte 1. There we will practice the natural movement of opening and closing like this. We don't play, we do only this movement in the air, and we combine it with breathing. So breathing in, breathing out. Yes, we will do it with the music later. And then in the Gavotte 2, we need the yada dum bum 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 bum. We need the small wrist circles, and we will do this tap 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 like this, okay? Then we have the Vivaldi A minor slow movement, second movement. There we want to practice continuous vibrato. Therefore we do the same what we did with Arjada. So we vibrate like this, but we never stop. And then we combine it with long bow strokes in the air. Yes, so we have both hands have different activities. The fast vibrato and very slow bow movement. In the Vivaldi G minor first movement, we will prepare shifting by tapping on the G string, first position, third position, high position. Then we change to E string with the elbow swing, high position, third position, first position. And then we always go around like this, okay? So let's try it. We start up bow. Hold your right hand with, and now the vibrato. Start already. And now the bow. Never stop. More vibrato. And less. Now the tapping. G. E. G. Yes, and like this you can be creative and think of many things, and it is very nice to prepare the techniques like this. Also, if the students cannot yet play the pieces, they already listen to the pieces and get to know the pieces well. So now I pass over to Kerstin.
Yes, thank you again for these many wonderful examples. Up to this point, we have explored practice chains with individual pieces and shorter repertoire units. But the same idea can be applied to a student's first larger musical work. For many students, the first complete concerto is an important milestone. The Vivaldi A minor concerto and the Vivaldi G minor concerto, each with 3 movements, often mark the transition from playing individual pieces to performing a larger musical form. For the first time, students experience how several movements belong together within one larger musical work. The energetic first and third movements and the lyrical slow movement each require a different musical approach and sound concept. These concertos also place new demands on the student. Playing 3 complete movements requires concentration, physical endurance, and growing strength in both arms. This is where the long-term work with practice chains becomes really valuable. Over many years, students have gradually developed concentration, stamina, and the ability to connect larger movement sections, musical sections, without interruption. These skills now provide an important foundation for learning and performing a complete concerto. But there is another application that is quite different. Instead of focusing on one larger movement, practice chains also connect different pieces from different stages of a student's development. There is another type of practice chain that helps students develop many of the same abilities. These are the home concert chains. On this slide, you can see a series of home concert blocks from volumes 1 to 5. Together, these blocks form a structured review system that helps students keep their entire repertoire active over many years. Many students naturally review only their favorite pieces, while other pieces gradually disappear from daily review. If students work through all 6 blocks, they systematically review their entire repertoire. Students who have not yet reached the higher volumes simply stop at their current level. This creates a clear review system and helps ensure that older pieces remain alive and available. The home concert chains are also a practical tool for concert planning because each block has a clearly defined level and duration. Teachers can easily select blocks for future performances, studio recitals, or group concerts. The same blocks can be combined in many different ways. This makes it easy to prepare performances well in advance. Another valuable aspect is that students gradually build a ready-to-play concert program. Grandparents, relatives, and friends can listen always to a well-prepared concert program at any time, while parents simply start the accompaniment and let the children play several pieces without interruption. There is another important aspect to the home concert chains. Whether they are used at home, in lesson, or in group class, the principle remains the same. Once the home concert chain begins, teachers and parents should resist the temptation to interrupt, correct, or comment between pieces. For a few moments, this is just the time of the student. It's the child's musical moment. The student moves independently from one piece to the next and experiences what it feels like to perform a complete musical sequence without interruption. This helps develop confidence, independence, and a natural flow in performance. The home concert itself is simply the natural extension of this process. Before we move on to our final reflection, Arjada and Margherita will share several additional ways of using practice chains, this time with familiar Volume 2 repertoire. We invite you all to join in once again as we finish the active part of today's presentation.
Thank you, dear Kerstin, for all these wonderful ideas how to use the home concerts. And now we switch on in another practice chain, 2B, a short version. And now we can do potpourri with music and movement and violin gymnastics. And you can have a piece of paper, a pencil, violin and bow, of course. Just follow me, because for these levels, the things are very simple. And in the other levels, like you have seen before with Margherita, we need explanation. But for this one, you can just join me and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Arjada. So, and our last example will be again the practice chain 2A short version, starting with chorus and ending with the two grenadiers, only the beginnings of the pieces. And I chose a very challenging exercise, which I like to do in group lessons. I call it the bow carousel. So we start with a normal bow hold chorus, play the whole bow stroke, and then in musette, we crawl to the balance point. We play the musette, we go to the middle, we play hunter's chorus, we continue to the 3/4 mark, and now we play the variation of long, long, only with this part of the bow. Then we turn around the bow. We play the beginning of the waltz, Brahms waltz. We go to the middle, play the bourrée, and finally we play the two grenadiers with only this part of the bow. Yes, but of course we always try to find our most beautiful and ringing sound, no matter where we are on the bow. Okay, so this develops the students' flexibility in the bow arm and makes them also listen more carefully. Yes, of course, this exercise is for students in book 3 or more advanced. Yes, but it is a nice way to bring a little variety in the review practice. So let's try it now. Bow stroke. Go to the balance point. Hunters chorus in the middle. And now the variation of long, long. Turn around the bow. Brahms waltz. Now the bourrée, go to the middle. And now the grenadiers. Yes, that's really a challenge. But I hope you had a little fun with this exercise. And again, I pass over to Kerstin for the final reflection.
Thank you, Margherita. This was really a big challenge, but you mastered it wonderfully. Very, very good. And I think every one of you can try it and try it with your students. That's really, you learn so much with this exercise. Um, it's really a very, very big help. And also changing in this practice chain always the character for each piece and trying to find also the phrasing and musical lines is with such yeah, different bow division possibilities is really a big challenge. Bravo, Margherita. And before we finish, let us briefly look back at the many different practice chains we explored today. As you can see on this slide, we worked with many different types of practice chains. At first, they may seem quite different, but some focus on review, some on future preparation, some focus on technical development, others focus on flexibility, concentration, or endurance, but all of them share a common goal. They help children build ability step by step. One of the greatest challenges in music education is not what happens during the lesson, but it is what happens between lessons. And without regular and meaningful home practice, long-term progress becomes very difficult. Practice chains help create a clear connection between the lesson and daily practice at home. Students know what to do, and parents know what to support, and teachers know what to focus on. For many families, this clarity is extremely valuable. For many students, a practice chain is only one part of a much larger practice routine. They may also work on technical exercises, note reading, ensemble skills, additional repertoire, and many other activities. However, there are also days when time is limited, motivation is low, and home practice feels more difficult. In this situation, a well-designed practice chain can provide a clear and effective starting point. Even if a student plays only a practice chain with a clear point of concentration and the current repertoire piece, a great deal can already be accomplished. The student remains connected to the lesson and important skills continue to develop. This way, the habit of regular practice remains alive. For many families, this clarity and consistency can make a tremendous difference. Perhaps the most important idea is that practice chains do not simply develop violin technique. They help children develop the ability to stay focused, organized, and physically engaged over longer periods of time. Many children begin by listening, moving, and participating only for a few moments, like we saw today. Over time, students become able to participate successfully in larger works such as concertos and sonatas. The ability to perform a concerto does not begin with the concerto. It begins many years earlier through small, joyful, and successful experiences. This is one of the great strengths of practice chains. Dear teachers, today you have seen many different possibilities. Some of them may fit your teaching immediately, others may inspire you, and new ideas will come in the future. Perhaps while listening today, you already had one of your students in mind, a student who might benefit from one of these practice chains. If so, I hope you will give it a try and begin this journey together in your next or very next lesson. The result may not appear immediately, but small and consistent steps often make a great difference over time. Many of you may now be wondering where these practice chains can be found and how they can be used in daily teaching and home practice. In a few moments, Linda will show you where many of these practice chains can be found in the IMTEX app. Let us therefore take a few minutes to explore it together.
Thank you so much, Kerstin. Today I wanted to make sure I had an opportunity to show you through the new IMTEX Online app. So here we go. As a participant in the Summer Academy, you and your students will have access to the IMTEX Online Media Library for 3 months. To get started, please open your course page and scroll down to Your Free Gift. There, you will find instructions to register and set up your login credentials. Next, download the IMTEX Online app and log in there to view the media library, which would then be activated. Let us take a look at where you can find the practice chains once you're in the app. There are 2 places to find practice chains in the IMTEX Online app. Photo 1 has a blue arrow pointing to the main section called Violin Teaching Material by Level. Clicking on that button will open a list of sections by level. This is shown in photo 2, all of the yellow buttons. If you scroll down past the yellow buttons, you will see a light blue button called All Practice Chains, shown by the arrow. Another set of sections will open after you click that, showing all available practice chains. Many of these sections also include demonstration videos of short practice chains. Most of these videos were recorded by Margherita Biederbick and provide an excellent model for watching, listening, and playing along. Students may also practice directly with the tracks. Photo 3 points to another way that we can access practice chains in the app. Rather than just selecting all the practice chains, you can open any particular yellow level button, which will reveal practice chains as an option. You can see here in photo 3 that we have just shown as an example, violin 2B, and the 2B practice chains are showing right there. Another thing that we want to make sure you're aware, this app has several very powerful tools that we can use to customize each of the tracks. Once a track is opened, you can adjust the speed faster or slower. You can also set loops, which bring focus to a difficult passage and provide opportunities for repetitions. Also, the material on the app can all be downloaded and used offline, allowing these tracks to be used without an internet connection. One of my favorite features is the playlist function. So teachers can prepare playlists for their own group lessons and make it easy to smoothly transition from one activity to another with accompaniment tracks. Also, teachers can set up individual playlists for each student and customize the tracks. So if you chose to change the tempo or create a loop, all of those customizations can be preserved in a student's individual playlist. Within the playlist, you may also add directions and notes to any given track. For example, play this exercise correctly 3 times in a row. Playlists can be easily updated from lesson to lesson. This feature creates a very clear connection between the lesson and the home practice. Teachers, students, and especially parents always know exactly what has been assigned for the coming week. Working together, the IMTEX app helps support consistent practice, musical growth, and a lifelong love of music by providing clear goals, structured practice, and all these things together helping students to build independence and to experience the joy of learning and growing. Today, hang on one second. There we go. Today, Kerstin, Margherita, and Arjada have all done such a tremendous job showing us the many types of practice chains. And I'm so excited about the IMTEX app to help us bring all these ideas together. So I'm going to bring everybody back in here while we wrap up our session.
Thank you, dear Linda. So this is really a very, very special moment because this app is right now more or less ready, and we have had a few testers, but now we are very happy that every one of you has the possibility to use it for 3 months with your students. That's really a great opportunity. And I would like now to thank so much Arjada and Margherita most sincerely for sharing so many wonderful ideas and practical examples with us today. And of course, also to Linda, I would like to thank so much for managing everything, that the technical side of today's workshop went so smoothly. This was really a big help to have her. And a very, very special thank you goes to Christoph Friedrichs and his team. Over many years, or they started already many years, but the last months they have invested an enormous amount of work, creativity, and technical expertise into the development of the IMTEX app. You can't imagine how many days and nights they worked for this. I think it's really a big part of their life, which they spent to develop it. And only through their dedication has it been possible to bring together the recordings, the videos, and teaching materials in this new format. And of course, the app is still growing. It's not that this is the end for the rest of our lives. It will grow more and more. And we are so grateful for everything they have contributed to the development of the IMTEX app. Thank you, Christoph. really big applause from all of us. And finally, of course, I would like to thank all of you for your participation, your openness, and your interest. We hope that some of today's ideas will enrich your teaching, strengthen the home practice, and bring joy to your students and families. So thank you very much, and we wish you all of us a wonderful and inspiring summer academy. Thank you, and bye bye. All the best.
Thank
Thank
you. Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye to everyone.